We find ourselves starting from scratch, brick by brick.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Kim. I am an avid reader and also an illustrator, so I share this kind of content here on my YouTube channel as of recently. I'm starting this vlog because I want to do a whole vlog where I'm just reading witchy books. I love reading witchy books. Something about reading witchy books just makes me feel just magical and empowered, and I don't know, it just makes me feel so good, and I feel like there's like a little witchiness to all of us, and it just sparks something so beautiful whenever I read witchy books. In this vlog, I am reading, I'm attempting to read as many witchy books as I can. I don't know how long I'm going to expand this vlog for, so who knows. I'm just starting it today. But I want to share some of the witchy books that I'm going to attempt to read, plus some other ones that I'm either gonna listen to the audiobook or go pick up physically. I'm unsure yet, but I already started reading some witchy books, and I've shared some of these here on previous vlogs, but I'm just gonna give you a rundown really quickly as to what I am planning to read and what I'm currently reading, because I did start one of them already. In my previous vlog, I was having a hard time choosing whether I wanted to read Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman or The Nature of Witches, but I did decide to just do Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman because this book has been sitting in my bookshelf for quite some time now, and I told myself that I was going to start reading this as soon as October hit, and we're already mid-October. So I started reading this already. I am a few pages in, and I really like it so far. It is moving pretty fast paced, so things are happening really quickly. And I also love that in between like the storyline, there are like little recipes. Like if you notice here, there are like little recipes that the author gives to you, like if you're kind of reading like a grimoire or like a spell that you can yourself perform, or just knowledge about certain herbs and stuff like that. So I love that that has been included in, I'm not sure if it's going to be included in the entire book, but it's definitely in the beginning. So I really love that, because if it just adds more to the witchy feel to it. Not only are you reading like a novel, you're also reading kind of like spells. So I really love that. I'm gonna attempt to finish this probably this week. Today is Sunday. I'm filming on a Sunday. So this upcoming week, I'm planning to finish this. I am a slow reader, so I'm gonna give myself some grace. And of course, the other book that I mentioned previously also in some of my other vlogs is The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I did share a little bit on my fall TBR about what this was about, but just to sum it all up, I believe it's like a group of witches who all possess certain powers dedicated to the seasons. And the main character, she's like an ever witch, so she possesses all of the seasons powers. And there's some stuff going on that she has to save her coven and also save the world, and she's the only one because she's an ever witch, and she only has the power to be able to do that. So I think it's her trying to find and control her powers, because it's a lot. So I'm excited to get into that, and also because I love all things season, and for some reason this kind of gives me those vibes about just like the seasons and learning to control the rain and the sun and just all of that. It feels very cozy, and also like the book cover is just so beautiful. It looks very autumnal. So I'm excited to also get into this one. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna start reading this maybe when I'm halfway into Magic Lessons, just to have 2 books going at a time. The other book that I do really want to start also is Thistlefoot. I also shared this on my fall TBR, and this is by Jenna Rose Nethercott. And just to sum it up, this is based on a retelling of a folklore based on the witch Baba Yaga, which I believe is a Jewish folklore story. something like that. But Baba Yaga is pretty much a witch that lives in a house with chicken legs. And this retelling is about two characters who are descendants of Baba Yaga, and they end up inheriting some of her possessions when she passes away, apparently. And one of those possessions is the house with chicken legs, the infamous house with chicken legs that Baba Yaga lives in. So they end up running into problems in the whole process of possessing the house with chicken legs. So I'm curious to see how that unfolds. I am a fan of folklore, so I'm excited to get into this one. I am a little bit nervous because this looks like it's a pretty hefty book, and as someone who is a slow reader, I get very intimidated with big books. But I feel like if I'm really into it, I can get through this hopefully pretty fast. So I'm anticipating to read this one also. Another one that I picked up that I really want to read also for maybe this vlog, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it, but it's called The Lost Dreamers by Liz Huerta. This cover is so gorgeous. I don't really know much about it besides like it being like the character I think is like a seer. So it still gives off witchy vibes. But it says here, Indira is a dreamer, descended from a long line of seers, able to see beyond reality. She carries the rare gift of dreaming truth. But when beloved King Ans dies, his son and heir has no respect for his time-honored tradition. Newly crowned Alkin wants an opportunity to bring the dreamers to a permanent end. An opportunity Indira will give him if he discovers the two secrets she is struggling to keep. As violent change shakes Indira's world to its core, she is forced to make an impossible choice. Fight for her home or fight to survive. The thing that really caught me is that this is actually based on fantasy inspired by ancient Mesoamerican, which I love. I love reading anything that has to do with like Mesoamerican folklore and stories. So I'm excited to get into this one as well. Hopefully I can get to it. Like I mentioned, this is a pretty ambitious list, so we'll see what I can get to. The next one, which if you've seen some of my previous vlogs, I got this one in one of my previous vlogs, and it's called Lobizona by Romina Garber. And this is also like a very witchy book, and I know it has like wolves in it. So this book says here, Manuela Azul has been crammed into an existence that feels too small for her. As an undocumented immigrant who's on the run from her father's Argentine crime family, Manu is confined to a small apartment and a small life in Miami, Florida until her protective bubble is popped. Her surrogate grandmother is attacked, lifelong lies are exposed, and her mother is arrested by ICE. Without a home, without answers, and finally without shackles, Manu investigates the only clue she has about her past, which leads her to a secret world buried within our own. A world connected to her dead father and his criminal past, a world straight out of Argentine folklore, where the 7th consecutive daughter is born a bruja, a witch, and the 7th consecutive son is a lobizón, a werewolf. A world where her unusual eyes allow her to belong. As Manu uncovers her own story and traces her real heritage all the way back to a cursed city in Argentina, she learns it's not just her US residency that's illegal, it's her entire existence. So I'm really excited to also get into this one. Hopefully, once again, I can get to it. So for now, that's kind of all I have that I'm planning to read for this vlog. We'll see how much I can actually get through. So yeah, I figured I would just take you all along and start this vlog now, since I did start reading already, and just make it like a focused on like witchy books. Right now I am gonna leave to like this Halloween sort of market. I'll probably shoot some footage on that, so you'll see that in a little bit. And yeah, I'll keep you all updated on how my reading is going. So yeah. Hi friends, it is now, or it has been now, several days later since I've even recorded for this vlog. I was actually working on a separate video that should already be up, and that's like a little day vlog of me reading The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. So that was pretty much what I was doing. Was I challenged myself to read for one whole day this entire book, and I kind of just recorded my experience and also what I thought about this book. So that's what I did, and that's why I have not really read anything else or done anything else, because then I had to edit that and then I had other work going on. So yeah, it's been several days later, so I'm not gonna really, I am going to include this book in this video that I read because it does give off witchy vibes, but I'm not gonna say too much about it or do like a little wrap up because I did a whole video on this. So if you haven't done so already, you can check that out if you feel like it. I will say it's a really good book, and it's definitely not what I expected it was going to be, in a good way. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that. But I do want to share 3 other books that I've gotten or I've picked up since I've last talked to you all. And it's these 3 right here, and I'm really excited about. So the first one that I picked up the other day, I was with my mom and we were like wedding shopping. If you've seen some of my videos, I've talked about it. My wedding is like coming up and I've been running around like a chicken doing wedding stuff. But on our way out and about, I picked this up, Carmilla. Like, look at this cover. It's so beautiful. I'm for sure going to display this on my bookshelf. Like, that's gonna look so beautiful. But this is called Carmilla, the cult classic that inspired Dracula by Sheridan LeFanu. I'm probably butchering that, but this has been on my TBR for a while, and I finally found it. I've gone to a couple of bookstores and they didn't have it, and I didn't want to order it. So when I finally went into Barnes & Nobles, that's where I got this from, they had it on there, so I had to pick it up. But it says here, in an isolated castle deep in the Austrian forest, Laura leads a solitary life with only her ailing father for company, until one moonlit night, a horse-drawn carriage crashes into view carrying an unexpected guest, the beautiful Carmilla. Okay, so it begins a feverish friendship between Laura and her mysterious entrancing companion, but as Carmilla becomes increasingly strange and volatile, prone to eerie nocturnal wanderings, Laura finds herself tormented by nightmares and growing weaker by the day. Okay, so this sounds really good. By the way, I am still reading Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. I am probably like a little bit over 50% into the book. So far I am liking it. But anyways, I like Magic Lessons and where that is going, but I have been needing something that is a little bit darker and a little bit just more gothic-y, and I feel like this is gonna give me all those vibes. Like, I mean, at least I hope so, but the cover's already doing that for me, so I'm excited to read this. And also because I wrapped this up not that long ago, and there was a lot of magic in here and all of the fantasy goodness that I love, but also I just need something witchy and dark, something that will scare the shit out of me. Like, that's what I'm in the mood for. Like, literally, I feel like I've been reading very like passive witchy stuff, but I feel like I'm in the mood for something dark. Not gruesome either, but just something dark. We'll see if Carmilla does it for me, but I am planning on reading this one for this vlog. Another book that I picked up recently is The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. And the cover, once again, is gorgeous. I've been seeing this one everywhere, and I've been meaning to pick this up for a while now, but every time I come across this, I already have like at least a few books on my hands, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, like, you don't fit, like, no. So I just picked this up today. Actually, I did a quick run to Target and I was skimming through their book section and I picked this up. But it says here, in 18th century London, women whisper of a hidden apothecary shop and its mysterious owner, Nella, who sells well-distinguished poisons to use against the oppressive men in their lives. I love that. I already love that, so I'm already intrigued, you know? Nella's dark world is no place for her newest patron, a precocious 12-year-old named Eliza Fanning, but their unexpected bond sparks a spring of consequences that echoes through the centuries. 200 years later, aspiring historian Carolyn Parswell is running from her own demons when she discovers a clue to London's long unsolved apothecary murders. This could possibly be the dark type of magic that I've been looking for. Carolyn's unpended present soon collides with an explosive history binding her fate to Nella and Elizabeth's in a stunning twist that transcends the barrier of time. Okay, so this sounds really, really good, and I'm excited to dive into this one as well. I probably, because I still have the Nature of Witches that I want to read and whatever else I've showed you guys in this vlog. I honestly forgot. But I don't know. This sounds really good. And then I gave in and I bought like this book that I've been seeing everywhere. Literally everywhere. Every time that I'm looking at booktube, this book always comes up. But I finally gave in because I've heard some really good stuff about it and it just sounds cozy and cute and magical. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Okay, so I gave in. I bought The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. It's so cute. I love it. I love, like, my dream is to live in a house that looks like this beauty right here. Like, can I please have that? It says here, as one of the few witches in Britain, Mika Moon, like, yes. I would love to read a book whose character's name is Mika Moon. Like, give me all of the magical names, please. She has to hide her magic, keep her head down, and stay away from other witches so their powers don't mingle and draw attention. As an orphan who lost her parents at a young age and was raised by strangers, she's used to being alone and she follows the rules with the exception. An online account where she posts videos pretending to be a witch. She thinks no one will take it seriously, but someone does. An unexpected message arrives, begging her to travel to the remote and mysterious Nowhere House to teach 3 young witches how to control their magic. It breaks all of the rules, but Mika goes anyway and is immediately tangled up in the lives and secrets of not only her 3 charges, but also an absent archaeologist, a retired actor, 2 long-suffering caretakers, and Jamie, the handsome and prickly librarian of Nowhere House, who would do anything to protect the children. And as far as he's concerned, a stranger like Mika is a threat, and an appealing threat. So hopefully I get to read this in this vlog, but I don't know, because I have a lot of books that I want to read and I honestly don't know how many I can get through. And also I do not want to make this vlog super long. So yeah, I'll see what I can get through. I really want to wrap up magic lessons within like the next 2 days. So I'm excited. I need to get to work and I'll just take you along to see what else I get done today. Okay, let's go. Hi friends, just a quick little reading update. Hey bud. Okay, just a quick little reading update. So I finally finished Magic Lessons by Alice Hoffman. superb. I really enjoyed this book personally. I thought it was magical. I really loved how this book had like also like little recipes and spells and incantations. I don't know if they're real, but nonetheless I really enjoyed the little recipes that it gave in between the stories and in between each chapter. I just thought it added more magic to the storyline. It really felt like you're not just reading a novel, you're also reading a sort of spell book. So I really loved that. I also really enjoyed the story of Maria Owens. I was always very curious when I seen practical magic and what the story behind this croaking beetle was. I didn't understand why that happened in practical magic, and here it still kind of explains a little bit as to why, but I still kind of was left confused as to why this croaking beetle, this beetle that makes sounds, is supposed to signify death or whatever. I really love stories, especially of witches that are based like back in the 1600s or the 1700s, 1800s. I really love that kind of storyline. It's really hard for me to get into, I guess, new age witches. Any storylines that are dopey, stop. Any storylines that have to do with modern day witches. I don't know, something about witches from the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, there's something magical there. And I personally really enjoy those kind of storylines, and so this gave me everything about that. So I'm really happy that I finally got to this book. I'm happy that I finished it. I gave it 5 stars. I've also started reading The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. Let me just say that this book is so good. I'm only a few chapters in. I'm barely like 100 pages in, and I am already so into the storyline. This is more of a modern day type of witch story, but I am surprisingly really into the storyline. I really love how the author has also incorporated environmentalism into the novel. I feel like it goes really hand in hand. I think the story, for me, I think it's really unique to have incorporated environmentalism and things that are actually happening around the world with our earth, like fires that have been happening in California, floodings that have been happening all around the world, just catastrophes. And so really the witches in this story are said to be able to help with those type of catastrophes and to be able to help restore damage that has been done to the earth by humans, which in this case I believe they're called shaders. I forgot what they're called, but there are a certain group of people in the storyline that have harmed the earth, and to me that's kind of like humans have harmed the earth here in this time and moment. So I think that this story is very unique. I really love how the witches in this story possess the magic of a certain season. I think that's really cool. But so far I've really been enjoying this book. I can't wait to finish this. I feel like I can definitely finish this within the next 2 days or so. Currently I'm on my living room floor because I'm working on editing a video. So I'm going to start editing that right now, and got my little coffee and just kind of get to work. So that's pretty much what I have going on for today, is probably edit my video, do some reading. Also, it is early in the morning, and so I am watching Scooby-Doo the movie. I remember when I was a kid, I used to wake up early mornings and the weekends and watch Scooby-Doo the cartoon, and that was like my favorite thing to do. So I'm watching the movie right now and just doing some work here in my living room. I think that's a good way to start the mornings, is cartoons and just kind of easing into workflow. So that has been one of my favorite things to do. I just thought I would share that.
Should
focus, camera. I need to get a new camera soon. Okay, so quick reading update, but first and foremost, I'm home alone. And that is scary to me. I don't like being home alone. It's always me, my partner, and Dobie. But my partner's not here and he's not gonna be here for the next 2 days. So I'm a little scared. I'm probably gonna go spend the night at my parents' tomorrow. But today I decided to just stay here. But anyways, I have not been able to read as much as I wanted to today because the day caught up to me and I was working on editing this other video that should already be up. And yeah, I was doing all that, day caught up to me, and I'm barely just now sitting down and reading. But I just want to say how much I am actually enjoying this book. I feel like if I was to be a witch in some sort of book, this is the kind of book that I would want to be a witch in. I think it's just so cool that there is, at least in this world, witches possess the magic of the season, or their magical components consist of the season they were born in. So if you were born in autumn, then you possess autumn powers. If you're born in summer, you possess summer powers. I just think that is so cool. I really, really love that concept. And so if I was to be a witch in a book or a movie, I feel like this is the type of witch or the type of setting I would want to be in, is to be some sort of seasonal witch. I just think that's so cool. So far, I am really feeling for the main character, whose name is Clara. I really feel for her. She's been through some really hard stuff. Even though she's a never witch and she possesses this grand power, she's really having a hard time finding herself and really owning up to her magic and seeing her potential. But I feel for her because she's been through some hard stuff. I also have been really enjoying the setting in this magical school that they're in, that the teachers all each either teach a certain season, or there's like a teacher for thunderstorms, there's a teacher for botany. I just think it's just so cool. I love storylines like this. I don't know if it's because I am someone that loves spending time outside and I just love things that have to do with outdoors and the elements and all of that stuff. I adore all those things. And so I feel like that is why this story has been really hitting it off for me. This is a YA novel, so the reading has been fairly easy for me to get through. I'm still at a point where Clara, the main character, is having a really hard time with harnessing her powers. So she's still trying to find herself. She holds a lot of power, and still she's having, she just doesn't want to really own up to her power, which in the past her power has hurt people. And so, yeah, I'm just kind of at the point where she is having a really hard time really stepping up to the plate and really harnessing her fullest potential. I also have a sense that there's like this little love triangle that is going to happen. I'm here for it, so we'll see. But so far, it's a really good read. I'm pretty sure I can finish this within the next probably 2 days. The only thing is that I need to just make sure that I make time for reading because I have a lot going on. And so I'm really trying my hardest to squeeze in some reading for this vlog. So, but yeah, I'll check in a little bit later, or probably not later today, but either tomorrow or the next day. I don't know, because it's pretty late already. I think it's like 11 p.m. So I'm probably gonna just read a little bit more, and then after that I'm probably gonna go to bed because I could already feel my eyes getting a little sleepy. Okay, I'll talk to you all in a little bit. So it has been a while since I've grabbed the camera and filmed anything. It might not seem so to you guys who are watching, but it has been a while. It's been a couple of weeks actually. I had a lot going on, and in between also I got married. So there was just a lot happening. But I finally got around to finishing one of my current reads, and I wanted to share with you all what I thought about it. So I finally finished The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I absolutely loved the storyline. I love the storyline. I think the storyline was very unique in my personal opinion. For me personally, I am someone who loves nature, so it encompassed so many great things as far as nature goes. It had magic in it and witches. It was just absolutely wonderful. I really loved the world that Rachel Griffin created with The Nature of Witches. I just really love how Rachel Griffin encompassed like environmental issues going on with our world into this unique world. And because how Rachel Griffin incorporated these very real environmental issues into this world, it made it seem even more believable as to what was going on in here. I love how there's also talk about how these people who are called shaders, which I believe, if I might be correct, shaders are just like regular non-witch people, and how much they have pretty much killed our earth and done harmful things to cause like weather changes. Like for example, how sometimes there's like a heat wave going on during winter, or how there's could be like snow going on in the summer. These very real environmental changes that have been triggered and caused by these shaders who have caused like pollution and these harmful toxic things to the earth that are causing these seasonal changes that are hurting the earth and the people. So I like how there was like talk about that, because in our world today, there very much is so many things that humans have caused our earth to trigger environmental changes, and all of that harmful thing that is causing devastating losses to our earth, and how our earth is suffering the consequences of things that humans have done. And so there's a lot of talk of that on here, and the moral of the story is that witches are fighting to restore back balance to the earth because of these devastating changes that the earth is experiencing. I also really love the main protagonist, whose name is Clara. At first it was kind of hard to read in the beginning because you are reading conversations she's having in her head, and you kind of just want to shake her and be like, no, like don't think like that, or don't do that. But I mean, it is a coming of age story, so it's understandable to have moments where the main protagonist is questioning herself and trying to figure out for herself who she is, where she stands, believing in herself and in her power. So it was very beautiful to see that development, how she was a person who didn't believe in herself, who she didn't believe in her magic, and how in the end it kind of all comes full circle. And it's beautiful to see that transition from someone who didn't believe in herself to the very end where she's harnessed so much. I feel like this story was exactly what I needed to read. It's absolutely one of my favorite storylines. I will say that I wasn't in love with the writing style. I did feel like the writing style was kind of bland for my taste, but the storyline was really good. I think it was a very creative storyline, something that I'm very much into, and I highly recommend. I think I am going to probably give this maybe like a 4.5 stars. It's almost a 5. I kind of just want to give it a 5 because like 4.5, but I don't know, I'm in between a 4 and a 5 just because the writing style was not my favorite. It was still very easy to read since this is a YA novel, but it wasn't my favorite writing style. It was kind of bland, kind of a little bit dry, but it still had a lot of great phrases in here, a lot of cool and catchy quotes that I really loved. But I would definitely read more of Rachel Griffin just because I feel like she has some good storylines, and I'm here for a good storyline. I'm here for being enwrapped in a good storyline. So I know she has another book out. I believe it's called Wild is the Witch. I've seen it around, but I wanted to give this one a try first. And yeah, I really liked it. So friends, I have no clue what in the world I have filmed for this video, but yeah, I just wanted to update you all on the nature of witches. I didn't get to read as many books as I wanted. I think I was a little too ambitious with all the books I wanted to read, considering that I had a lot going on this month with the wedding and other stuff that were going on in my personal life. But nonetheless, I am so happy that I still made some time to read. I have some other cool books that I've gotten, but I'm gonna leave those for the next vlog that I'm going to be starting off. For now, I just wanted to kind of wrap this one up because I've already prolonged it too long, and I already forgot what in the world I filmed. So anyways, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I am so excited to continue reading into fantasy and into some witchy books, because those are absolutely my favorite type of books to read. And I will see you all on the next video. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment. It absolutely helps my channel to grow and to be found by other book lovers. So I hope that you all loved this video. Please give me a thumbs up so I know to continue making these type of videos. And yeah, take care, and I will see you very soon, friends. Bye for now.